And within the last hour, the Secret Service gave an update on the security plans at this week's Republican National Convention. And it comes as former President Trump is about to arrive in Milwaukee. So has the tone changed since yesterday? NBC5 political reporter Mary Ann Ahern joins us now live at Pfizer Forum in Milwaukee. Mary Ann, what have you noticed? Anything different?
Avrod, you definitely feel a notice here. There is more security. Whether you're walking down the streets, you see them. You see the federal, the state, the local police officers, not only in the city, but inside this arena. But as mentioned, what about that political rhetoric? Will that be scaled back? The security perimeter in Milwaukee is growing, and overnight there will be even more streets closed. And whether they are on bikes or directing traffic on the eve of the Republican National Convention, everyone is holding their breath, with safety the top concern. Mordecai Lee, Professor Emeritus, University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee.
The thing that really struck me while I was downtown is that it didn't seem like a Republican convention. It seemed like a police convention, in the sense that there were police, at least one at every corner. I saw hundreds of police on bikes. I saw many walking a beat, in other words, walking down various blocks. And I was just astounded. I've never seen that much security.
Former President Trump arriving in Milwaukee late this afternoon, noting on social media, "I cannot allow a shooter or potential assassin to force change to scheduling." Delegates are scattered across the city. The Illinois delegation assigned to the outskirts, but that doesn't mean they're not enthusiastic.
I think that there's still that strong energy. I think we're very much united, and I think that this is going to be a great event. And I don't want to allow, and I don't think anybody wants to allow the actions of yesterday to ruin this experience for Milwaukee and for the RNC delegation.
Law enforcement offered a late briefing on how Saturday's events is impacting them here.
As you'd expect after the events yesterday, we've seen an uptick in social media chatter, people talking about what happened, and we as the leads for all intelligence matters related to the RNC, the FBI, we evaluate all of that to make sure that if it trends into criminal activity or threat-based information, we evaluate that and again disseminate it out to our federal and state partners for action.
So the seats behind me, they are empty now, but tomorrow you will see many more people filling this arena. And of course, what also will be filling the arena, the intensity. And you do feel a change, even without people here, the talk of unity among the Republicans that we have not heard in previous conventions. Avrod?
All right, Mary Ann, of course, with the tightened security there in Milwaukee, you can't help but wonder, what is that going to mean for us here in Chicago next month with the DNC coming here to the city?
That is the big question unanswered so far, Avrod. We've been waiting to see what will the security be like in Chicago. The perimeter will be announced the week after the RNC is over, no doubt. They'll be studying to see what happens here, how many streets, how large will it be. Of course, not just the delegates want to know that, but people in Chicago want to know. Can they get around? Can they get about? We're going to be showing you that this week here from Milwaukee, how the everyday person, are they staying away or are they taking part in this convention? Avrod?
All right, Mary Ann Ahern live for us in Milwaukee. We certainly look forward to your coverage of the RNC tomorrow. Mary Ann, thank you. Meanwhile, the former Secret Service agent who was shot protecting President Reagan calls the assassination attempt on former President Trump a failure by the U.S. Secret Service. Tim McCarthy was in the Secret Service before serving as Orland Park's police chief, and he told NBC5 Investigates the agents acted swiftly, but there will still be a review of what else could have been done and how the shooter even got on top of that building in the first place.
But when a protectee of the Secret Service is injured, there's a failure somewhere, because it's not supposed to happen. Human failure, some other type of failure, who knows what happened, but it's a failure nonetheless. The Reagan assassination attempt was a failure because he was injured. This is a failure too, and we're gonna have to look at what failed.
McCarthy told NBC5 Investigates Bennett Haberly that security plans for the Republican and Democratic national conventions will be reviewed, but he doubts major changes will be made because indoor events are somewhat easier to secure. So, of course, we invite you to stay with us right here at NBC5 for continuing coverage of the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. Former President Donald Trump did arrive in Milwaukee tonight, making it clear that he is not deterred by the assassination attempt. The top priority, though, as you can imagine, imagine, is security. And there are clear signs the schedule and messaging is changing because of what happened. NBC5 political reporter Mary Ann Ahern joins us now live at the Pfizer Forum inside. And Mary Ann, what changes have been made since the Pennsylvania shooting?
Avrod, the first one would have to be Donald Trump telling reporters that he has torn up the speech that he planned to deliver, instead wants to offer one of unity. Another change, well, every political convention that I've been to, security certainly top of mind. We are already seeing quite a high level. Republican delegates arrived for a welcome party Sunday night at Milwaukee's Summerfest grounds. Choppers are flying overhead, and while it is a huge party, it has also added tight security.
They went through my wallet and looked through my bills, which is a little depressing, but that's okay. But incredibly thorough. They have drones that are inside. They've got helicopters across the top. But you know what? Even with all of that presence, it's the most electrifying crowd that I've been around.
Milwaukee has been planning for the RNC for 18 months. No one, though, could have predicted an assassination attempt on Convention Eve. Professor Mordecai Lee, University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee.
I think the picture of him with his raised fist and the blood on his face will probably be the picture of the year, might even be the picture of the decade, because it so captured his personality.
Federal, state, and local law enforcement in Milwaukee offered this late update.
This is a national special security event. Can't get any higher than that in regards to that particular type of designation. And so I just want to reassure not only our community, the greater community, those involved at the convention, but also in our city. We got this. We got this.
Trump arrived here early Sunday evening with reports he will not wait until the final night of the convention to speak to the delegates.
Blood on your hands.
Protests were evident, but not overwhelming. Illinois Republicans, like Cook County State's Attorney candidate Bob Fioretti, is emphasizing the Republican priorities.
Making sure our streets are safe and our country is safe. And we ask people to pray for America, because that's what as we go into November, we really need to be united.
As a sign of turning down the rhetoric, the Biden campaign is no longer sending surrogates, tomorrow at least. Governor J.B. Pritzker was scheduled to be here, but those plans for a news conference from him and others has been canceled. Avrod?
Oh, Mary Ann, let's talk about the protests. Besides the one that you showed us there tonight, any other protests that you're hearing about that are planned for this RNC?
Yes, Everett, of course, the coalition to march on the RNC, they've gone to court, much like what we have seen in Chicago of protest groups going to court. The RNC coalition, they're not happy with the route they've been given. They promised to march anyway. Everyone will be keeping a close eye on that, especially in light of what happened Saturday night. There is sort of this collective holding your breath to make sure this entire week goes off smoothly. Avrod?
Mary Ann Ahern reporting live for us tonight in Milwaukee. Mary Ann, thank you.